Hey guys, I know you may be a bit frustrated that it's not working right now, that your Blackmagic Intensity Pro stuff is not working right now, so I'm going to go through a few things to check before you send me a message and try to get it sorted that way. So make sure that you've taken out your components cable, you've taken out your Blackmagic Intensity Pro from your computer and plugged it back in. Make sure that it's nice and firm in there. If you've done that, make sure that you've then installed the drivers. Make sure you install the drivers after you've plugged the component in. Okay, make sure you've got the ones from the CD installed. If you haven't got the ones from the CD installed and you got the ones from the internet, try that. And try it vice versa if you got the ones from the CD installed. Try the ones from the internet because there may be later versions. The next thing you want to try really is making sure that you've got the right inputs and outputs. Think of it like this in science terms. You can't have digital. You can't convert something that's digital into analog. You can change something from analog into digital, but not digital into analog. Okay, so once it's in digital, it has to stay in digital. So basically what I'm saying is you have to make sure that if you're going to use a component input, you have to have it as component input and HDMI output. You can't have HDMI input and analog output. I'm sorry about that. It just doesn't work. So make sure that you've got the input and the output the right way around. HDMI input and HDMI output is not going to work with the PS3. You're going to have to make sure that you've got an analog / component input for the PS3, and then you can have HDMI output back into the TV if you want to, or you can have analog output as well, I suppose. I suppose that'll work. I'm not 100% sure on that bit though. Make sure you've got the same settings as me, because these are the right settings. You don't need to stray from these unless you have got, if you've got HDMI in and HDMI out, these are the right settings. If you've got HDMI out and analog in / component in, you're going to change it to this, I think, but you may want to do some separate research into that afterwards. When you've done that, make sure you click OK. By the way, to get to this screen, you have to click, go on to the bottom of the bar, type in Blackmagic control panel, and then it should, in the control panel, say Blackmagic control panel. Just tap that, and then you got it popped up. Okay. Then over here, you're going to make sure that you're on capture, because that's one thing that may not be working right. Make sure that you clicked capture. Make sure that in preferences you've got it set to 59.4 1080i, and that your Xbox is also set to 1080i. Or if you've got your Xbox set to 720p, that you've got this set to 720p. If you're running on a PAL Xbox / a European Xbox that's from the European place, somewhere in the European states or countries, whatever, make sure I have it in 59.94 and not 60. If you're in the US, I think you have to have it at 60, but you have to check up on that as well. Just carry on trying all of these until you find the right one. If you can't find the right one, then contact me, but also make sure that I have it in AVI, Motion, JPEG. None of the others are going to work properly. They're going to be out of synchronization, and they're not going to work properly. You don't need to have any of this ticked. None of it is needed. It's never been needed for me. It's never going to be needed for you. Make sure that if your videos cannot be noticed by any program, make sure that you're opening them up with Vegas Pro 9.0C or 10.0A or 9.0E. Anything earlier than sorry about this. Anything earlier than 9.0C is not going to work. Okay, so make sure that you got that out of the way. I don't think there's anything else that you really need to say. I'll just show you that mine works, just to prove that I've even got it. I don't think there's anything really I have to say except that you don't have to worry about master. I don't even know what that does. Playback, you don't have to worry about that. Just make sure that once you've actually captured it, you go into wherever it's been saved. I'm not 100% sure how to find out that. Actually, no, I do know. When it comes up here after you've captured, right click and click Open File Location, and that will tell you where it's saved. Okay.